All right, I'm going to try and keep this brief. And when I tell you what this video is about, you're going to want to scroll, but don't. This is probably the most important video I've ever done. Save this video. I'm going to talk about population. I know, it sounds super exciting, but really it is. I'm going to bring it back to this, the big beautiful bill passed yesterday in the United States, and I'm going to talk about AI a little bit. But the bulk of it is all going to revolve around population. Let me start with this comment. Jeff has been a longtime follower. He contributes all the time. And in yesterday's video where I talked about the big beautiful bill and the debt to GDP ratio in the US, there was a comment thread about how this is going to destroy the US. And Jeff is right here. This is not going to destroy the US. This is not going to be what brings the US down. It's a problem that will make the real problem worse. Let me start by connecting some dots, okay? And I'll start with China. China's trade collapse sparks a new Asian power shift. Investors are watching closely. Since COVID, China has had issues. China's falling property prices since COVID, and we've seen these things, right? There's empty condominiums. They're destroying apartment buildings. They have an excess of housing. Lots of reasons for it, but there's one big one. China's population has flatlined. Right there, flatlined since COVID. An economy is built on consumption. If you don't have people who consume things, then you don't have an economy. What's the point of building more housing for future growth if there is no future growth? Like Japan is worried right now. Trump threatens Japan with tariffs of up to 35% as deadline looms. Japan is one of those countries with a huge debt to GDP ratio, and they thought, well, this is not a problem. We have a thriving economy. And this won't kill Japan, but it's another straw in that camel's back, if you know what I'm saying. Because Japan's population is falling, and it has been for a long time. It's been slowing since the 1990s. You may have seen videos of homes that are empty in Japan, really nice homes that are completely empty and abandoned. That's why. There's no one to consume them. A few weeks ago, I said that your job may depend on population growth. How so? Let's say you're a farmer. You grow food, right? To do that, you need to have supplies and machinery, right? Someone has to supply the supplies and the machinery. Those companies employ people to create the supplies or make the machinery. And those companies rely on other companies to give them the raw materials, etc., etc., etc. There's jobs all along that line. But when you've made enough consumable items for your population, the consumption stops. They don't need people building houses in Japan. So they don't need drywallers and framers and electricians and plumbers. They don't need to sell drywall and wood and plumbing and electrical wire, etc. I mean, they do. You know what I'm saying, right? They need to have less of it. Russia. There's perpetual stories of the problems in the Russian economy. The Russian population topped out back here in 1991. Is it just a coincidence that they've had economic issues since then? Italy is a great example, okay? And you can go look up articles from these time periods and see that I'm not just making shit up. Here, all right, in this period here from 1980 to about 2000, very slow economy and very slow population growth. Then all of a sudden there was a boom. There was a boom in Italy. People were like, wow, man, Italy's on a comeback. Look at the population growth right here. After 2000 to about 2014, there was this amazing renaissance in Italy in terms of the economy. And at the same time, the population was growing. Now they have issues again. They're selling homes for $1, etc., etc. And look at the population growth. We see it here in Canada all the time. People are like, why are homes so expensive in Toronto? Why are homes so expensive in Vancouver? Because their populations are growing. Vancouver's population has been growing enormously since 1960. Every decade you can look up, you can find articles about how homes are unaffordable in Vancouver, and people are saying like it's a new thing. No, it's not. So this debt in the US, is it a problem? The debt in and of itself is not a problem. But they're also going for a slowdown, even a contraction of population. They are. Look at that big, beautiful bill. The last thing you're going to want to do is move to the United States. And I know some of you are like, that's the best thing ever. I totally want to go. Just go. Do it. Do it. I'm not saying that because, I'm a hater. I'm saying if you want to go, go. You should follow your dreams. It won't at all turn into a shit show because of all the things that are going to cause their population to contract. Again, just like this, it's not going to collapse overnight, but over time. Oh, yeah, it's going to cause problems. And let me finish it up with AI. All right? So this is Walter Reuther. I've spoken about him before. He used to run the UAW. He passed away when his airplane mysteriously had its instruments installed upside down. And back in the 50s, there's an infamous meeting that he had while touring a Ford plant. And one of the employees, one of the executives at Ford said, "Hey, how are you going to get robots to pay union dues? Smart guy." And he came back and said, "How will you get robots to buy cars? Smart guy." And that's the problem we're having with AI now. AI is going to suck up a whole bunch of jobs. And jobs are the reason people move around. If there's fewer jobs, especially here in Canada, there's going to be fewer people here in Canada. Fewer people here in Canada means our economy is going to go to shit. Some people say, well, AI will create new jobs. Well, they better create those new jobs here. Since the dawn of man, we have relied on bartering and consumption as a daily routine. That's what we do, and we trade with each other. What happens when there's no way to do that anymore? And that big, beautiful bill, a lot of the stuff in that big, beautiful bill helps AI to keep going, to keep doing what it's doing right now. And don't get me wrong, I think AI is fantastic, but there's a downside. There's a huge downside. The US are among the top consumers in the world. And if the US stops consuming, what happens to everybody else?